Hey everyone, how's it going? Bringing another video today, and brought something a little special. Got a hold of a Booker's this time. We're going to be comparing some that are similar flavor profile, some things that are just high proof and similar, and even something else from Jim Beam. Booker's is a Jim Beam product. It is a barrel proof. It's taken from multiple different barrels, taken from different rack houses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think it's 7 if I can figure out how to count. Nope, 6. Cool, I can't count. So 7 different rack houses. This particular blend, and they blend them together, and it's just whatever that particular proof. This one's actually at 125.5 proof, so it's nice and strong. It's gonna be a fun little try. And today, with me, I have my very best friend growing up, my friend Nick. He's gonna be joining, and say hi, Nick.
Hello.
And that is Nick. Today we're gonna be trying these and give you our impression. At the end of the day, what you like is what you like, but yeah, it should be fun. So we're starting with Booker's today. One of the things we're gonna be comparing with it is Knob Creek.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we both did it.
Knob Creek. This is actually from the exact same warehouse, or not warehouse, but it's from the same rack houses and everything. It's all both made by Jim Beam. It's not the lowest proof of Jim Beam's. It's sitting at 50% ABV, and yeah, it's a pretty solid entry. I've yet to try the 12-year, but 9-year is something we'll, compare against it. Booker's is obviously going to be rare. This is going to be a lot more accessible. It's pretty much everywhere. It's very underrated, in my personal opinion, and yeah, it's a nice comparison. And one of the things that I was told has a similar flavor profile, not quite the same punch, but still pretty darn high. It's going to be Wild Turkey Rare Breed. It's a barrel proof Wild Turkey. It's blended with a couple different ages. Never really states it on the bottle, but we're going to be doing that. That's 116.8? Yeah, 116.8 proof. So it's a little high. I've drank a little bit of this. It's it's pretty good. It's pretty good. And then following up with one of my latest purchases, got an Elijah Craig barrel proof. It is sitting at 120.2 proof, our second highest. Elijah Craig was one of the very first whiskeys I ever, bourbons, or whiskeys in general, that I ever purchased myself. And it was one of my favorites for the longest time. And it's nice to try a high proof, even though Elijah Craig sits normally at 94 proof. This is the barrel proof, which is more concentrated flavor, and should be interesting. So yeah, those are the ones that we're bringing to the table today. And to start with, and also with all of these, we're going to be also trying it with a tiny bit of water, just to see if that livens it up at all, if it opens up any flavors that we didn't really taste prior, and kind of explore it a bit.
So we're starting with Booker.
Yes.
And out of all 4 of them that we're trying today, this is the one that's the rarest.
Yeah. The Elijah Craig barrel proof is also pretty darn rare.
Oh.
But they only do 4 releases of this a year. This would be the 3rd one. So this is what they called for 2021. So technically last year now. This is what they called the Bardstown batch, which was really highly reviewed for all of them. So, but it's pretty cool. I like the box that comes in. Very pretty. It's got a little plastic thing, just says Booker's. Box. Oh, good lord. Comes with a little Master's Distiller notes.
Read that and pull it away right away, so they pause the video and they can read it. Yeah.
No, actually, I usually tend to read it very poorly. Batch story. So I didn't know it actually came with this. It's kind of cool.
The third release of Booker's Bourbon 2021 collection is Booker's Batch 2021-3 Bardstown Batch. This batch honors the home place of not only my dad, Booker No, but several generations of Beam family members, including myself and my son Freddie. Dad was born in Springfield, Kentucky, but spent a good amount of time in Bardstown visiting friends, along with his grandfather, Jim Beam. After going to college, he moved to Bardstown full-time to join the family business. Dad lived in Bardstown for more than 50 years and was well known in the community for his infectious personality. He was the ultimate host, always inviting people over to the house for drinks and dinner parties. These events became well known across town, especially when Dad was serving his country ham that he would smoke right in the backyard, a practice he learned from his grandfather, and the one that I continue to this day. Today, I live in the same house in Bardstown that my great-grandfather Jim Beam lived in, and Freddie is right next door with his own family. Though it may be called the bourbon capital of the world, to us this special place is simply home. Bardstown Batch represents all the happy times we've shared here, and I hope you all are able to enjoy this batch alongside close family members and friends. Fred No, Beam family 7th generation master distiller.
Yeah, his father lived in Bardstown for more than 50 years. And then you got some information up top. 6 years, 5 months, 0 days. Yeah, 125.5 proof. Yep, his signature and whatnot. I have to open this thing. It still got seal and everything on it, so we're gonna watch me fail at opening this, I'm sure, because these things never open really well and very easy. Holy cow. Okay. I stand corrected. Alright. Cool. That was comparably to the others I've had to open like this. Very painless. And let's see if we get a nice little pop. Woo! Okay. I'm happy with that one. I am happy with that one. Still a wax cap on the top of the... I'm not going to fuss over that. Let's this down. And it also says...
You gotta show the back of it.
Oh, it's upside down.
Somebody on a rocking chair.
Somebody on a rocking chair? It says Booker's on the thing.
On the back of it. You gotta show the back.
Back.
Yeah.
Oh.
Booker, what? Joe?
Booker, no. N-O-E.
Oh, I thought it said Joe.
I could definitely be wrong in the pronunciation of that.
No.
I'm sure I will be corrected many times.
It's a guy, it's an old man sleeping in a rocking chair.
It says Booker Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. Distilled and bottled by James B. Beam Distilling Company. Claremont, Kentucky. Yeah. This little display box is pretty cool. I like that a lot. A little bit of showmanship to it. It's got wax seal with these tassels for some reason. You got that same little red thing, and not 100% certain what it says. The whiskey in this package is the highest grade bourbon created by me here at Jim Beam. It is bottled, uncut, and unfiltered. My grandfather, Jim Beam, liked his whiskey from 6 to 8 years old. Well, this one's to be about 6 years and 5 months, it said. Yeah. This should be interesting. Oh, and then we also upgraded to larger Glencairns this time. Not that I didn't have them before, it's just I didn't use them before. Of course, we use the bigger Glencairns for a much higher proof. So, yeah.
More whiskey.
Yeah, more whiskey for the higher proof whiskey. Not the smartest thing to do, necessarily, but go on. That was a tight seal. No evaporation on that. Alright. So what we're going to do, like I said, we're going to get a nice tasting. We're going to smell it, taste it. Then we will smell it, get a second smell after the tasting, second tasting. and then we're going to drop in a tiny bit of water, and then repeat the smell and taste one more time, and give our thoughts kind of throughout. And
that is going to be the process.
Yeah. It's nice darkness to it. Not quite super light, but not super dark. I mean, that's probably where I'd expect a 6-year-old to be. Bottle made it seem like it was going to be a little darker. But yeah, no, it's good color. Let's give it a little swirl. Let it open up a tiny bit. Let some air and oxygen mix in. Get flavors. Swirly swirl. Light cling to the glass. It's hard to see. Very hard to see. There's a little bit of a forming of the line. You can kind of see right around along there. All right, swirl. Gotta get to go around. Don't slosh it.
Yes, I'm not very good at it. Trying.
I'm slowly getting better. I'm going from mediocre to slightly better. You ready for a sniff?
I don't know. I'm getting like spicy wood.
Yeah, it's a nice wood note on that one. Some deep, rich sugar, some brown sugar. It's just it's a very dense one. High proof. Not a lot of burn.
No.
For 125 proof, I was expecting to be kind of kicked a little bit in the nose. Not so much. It's inviting though. It's not aggressive. It's just very rich. Deep smell.
Yeah, some memories are flooding back to me, and I can't describe them.
I'm getting a lot of pepper.
So
A lot of brown sugar. A lot of oak. Not quite. I mean, not quite super caramely. A hint of caramel, but very little. It's like a brown sugar. Not caramel. I wouldn't say it's caramel. A lot of spice, though. This is, I mean, to be honest, the fact that Elijah Craig is waiting in the wings definitely reminds me of Elijah Craig in the barrel spice department. I like it, though.
Yeah, the main scent of this is definitely wood. Spiced wood.
Yeah, I mean, nothing wrong with that. Huh. Alright, you ready for a taste?
Yes.
Bottoms up. Probably shouldn't do it with these glasses. Yay, mouth noises, sorry. Wow.
Boy, that builds.
It does.
Towards the end, yeah.
Yeah. In a good way. For me, it's good.
I like
wow, that was good. I'm getting cherry on the back end. Just a hint. A lot of wood throughout. It's a long finish on this thing, too. A very long finish.
Yeah, it wasn't so burny at the beginning of it, but
No.
towards the end it...
And towards the end, I'm getting like... it's like being in a bakery. Like you get that fresh toasted bread smell. I got that on the back end with the wood. It's just like someone was like a wood fireplace and making bread. It's really good. Almost... Wow. That's sweet to the perfect amount, not overly powering by any means. It's just, wow, that's good. That was really good.
Yeah, I like
see if I smell anything else on the second go for this. I got weirdly smelling the baked bread. I don't know why.
It's definitely strong in the lighter parts of it, though.
Yeah.
For the taste.
A lot of the wood disappeared on the nose now. The wood and pepper is now kind of missing on the nose. It got more rounded, to be honest. It got, the sweetness got slightly subdued in a way too, but not subdued. It got lighter, not thinner. Like the amount of sweetness is still the same, but it got lighter, and it got more towards the caramel, I guess, which I was kind of flirting with the idea of it potentially being kind of caramel, but kind of decided it wasn't caramel. But no, this time, going back, definitely caramel.
I'm taking another swig.
Go for it. Barrel spice is still in the taste. Did not go away in the taste. Sweet. No complaint. I really like that. Yeah, it's definitely heavy.
Yeah.
I'm really wondering how this water is really going to affect it.
It took so long saying anything at first is because it was building and building, and then it was getting more and more intense, and I didn't want to choke over my words.
I'm going to add a quick 50 milliliters of water to this, or at least half of that. 25 milliliters. Go with 25 milliliters to mine too. Let this sit for a second. Alright. Give it a smell with the water. Got a little lighter. Not noticing much different. We're certainly by no means professionals, guys. This is
no.
we are two enthusiasts who have no idea what the hell they're doing. Just going for it and enjoying it. So a lot of you who may have found this video are pretty much in the same boat as us, just, you know, kind of find their way, having a journey, enjoying it.
So the water is supposed to help it open up?
Yeah, it could. It could bring out some of the more subtle flavors that you're not noticing, or not necessarily bring them out. It just tones down some of the heavier, denser flavors that could be dominating and losing some of the other stuff. So, okay, might be going crazy. I got cinnamon. A hint of cinnamon. More like cinnamon toast crunch cinnamon. So it's a very light cinnamon sugar. Not necessarily full on spicy bite of cinnamon. Which I'd prefer that the subdued version, because I'm not really a huge fan of drinks tasting like cinnamon. That's really kind of interesting. Alright. I mean, the breadiness kind of plays into the cinnamon toast crunch aspect too. I guess I am getting a bit of cinnamon toast crunch. Alright. You ready for a taste? See what this changed it at all?
Yes.
Wood and pepper. Still strong on it.
Yeah, like I said.
Which I love.
I said spiced wood.
Yeah. I mean, that's nailed it. You nailed it. Sweet. That's good. That is dang good. That was Booker's.
And how much was that?
That was... Oh, right.
80 or 90?
So, let me bring that back real quick. Fun story on this one. So, out of nowhere, we shop at Myers for our groceries. And I went to the website to see if they had anything on sale. I was just kind of perusing, just seeing if there was something interesting to grab when we went grocery shopping. and it advertised that they had this in store for $79.99. I'm like, well, you know what? I have to get my hands on this. Showed up, and I ended up with a Blanton instead because they didn't have the Bookers in stock, but they said they had Blantons, which just, again, Adam Myers, what the heck, not what I expected. So the very next day, I actually went with you. We went to the Few Distillery to, sample their gins and whiskeys and all that other stuff, and just kind of check out the distillery. First distillery tour either of us had been on. And
I unexpectedly picked up a gin instead of a whiskey.
Yeah, barrel-aged gin, too. Yeah. It was actually really good.
It tastes like bubble gum.
Yeah.
On the back end, yeah.
It was very surprising, but actually really good. Honestly, if you ever have a chance to check out the distillery, I highly recommend it, Evanston. But literally about 2 blocks away, I'd say, roughly, space, there was a Binny's, which is a larger chain liquor store out in the Midwest where we're at. And, it was literally just over by them, and we're like, okay, you know what? Let's just go check what they had. We walked in, and we actually could not believe some of the interesting things we ran into. More so me, because I was like a kid in a candy store.
I'm not as knowledgeable.
We're just getting into this. I've been doing it for a couple months now, and he's been doing it for a couple months less. But we ran into Weller. We ran into some Kentucky Owl, the Bookers, as you see here. Some other things. It was just like, oh my God, what do we get? And we both settled. He bought a Weller. And
$30.
Yeah, the Special Reserve, the green label one. It was the first time I'd actually seen a Weller in the wild, which is possibly wild to some of you. And I was like, well, I got the Bookers and the Blantons. What the heck? This has been the most insane weekend. And I was so happy to have that. And now that we're finally trying it, I'm genuinely happy with the purchase. So, yeah. But this was, again, only $80 at Binny's, because they tend to sell things for MSRP versus some of the crazy markups you get. So if you ever have a chance to go there and you see some, I highly recommend getting it, because they're pretty cool. So we're going to go with good old Knob Creek 9-year-old. I think they've been making these since 92. Reopened, I guess.
1992, right?
No, 1992.
We're talking about whiskey.
It could be 1800s, could be, who knows. Good point. 1992 is when they started making this. I guess it was being made at a prior date too, but ceased production through changing of hands through different companies, and they ended up redoing it. I guess Knob Creek is based off of the creek that ran through supposedly the property of Abraham Lincoln's house in Kentucky, and that's what it's named after. It's a whiskey by Jim Beam also. So the houses, rack houses that they source all the whiskey from for the Bookers is actually the exact same place as Knob Creek. So they proof it down to 100 proof, I had this in one of my prior videos prior to the current format, and it's a pretty cool bottle. I like it. If you want to know my opinion on this from a prior video, I'm sure it's going to change today. I've tasted many different things since then, and on top of that, your tastes change every day. Every time you try something, you're going to find something new or be lacking. That depends on what you have beforehand, or how you're feeling in that moment. So
that's the beauty of it.
Oh, good Lord! I've been talking, not been cleaning. So, that is kind of the beauty of it. So every time you kind of have a new experience, a new journey, and something fun. The water tastes like whiskey. Cleaning out the glass. swirly swirl of water. Water. Yeah. We are talking really high proof, so it's a good thing we're drinking water in between and taking our time, because good lord, there's some... I don't know where I was going with that, but you just were witness to whatever the heck that was. Sorry, guys. So
Knob Creek was where Abraham Lincoln grew up? Or
there was a creek that ran through the property.
Where he grew up. Okay.
Where his house was, indeed. And, yeah, I guess it was named after that. Yeah. So there's that. That's a thing. That's a thing that we got here. So let's open up the Knob Creek and see how this one goes. Okay, that one was a little... yeah, it was a little stuck compared to what I was expecting. You can choose to open it up with water in this one if you would like, but it is a much lighter whiskey, so you know, we'll see. We'll see how drunk we get by the end of this. Not intentionally, but good lord, these proofs are just so high. Should have a high-pitched voice for that, but you know, here we are.
You can edit it.
Yeah, I'll edit it and just turn up the voice really high. Yeah, swirly swirl, swirly swirly swirl. This is
no better edit.
Yeah,
It's pretty good.
there you go. There you go. Much better. Under the nose. Yeah, a lot of oak, but this is
Yeah, it's like a deeper scent.
Yeah.
For oak.
Yeah.
Deeper wood.
To be honest, this is it's a little. So what do you mean by deeper? Do you mean like? Because I thought that one had a much, or correction, it had more oak, but it was a spicier oak. I think I get what you mean by deeper, as in like, it's like a denser smell of oak, but not like spicy oak. It's hard.
Right, it's not spicy.
Yeah.
Not the other one was spiced wood. This is just like
It's just almost
wood.
Yeah. Almost just you get the wood oil, but without the spiciness that, you know, almost pepperiness that you get. That one definitely had pepper, like a peppery wood.
Yeah.
This one's just a really dense, really nice, almost like an oil wood finish type thing. I don't know how to describe what I'm saying, but I'm saying it anyway. I get a lot of sugar though. This one is a lot sweeter.
Oh yeah.
Much more. And this one is small bit of cherry. Small bit of cherry. Much sweeter. I mean, when you talk about bourbon, these are all bourbons, and a lot of my videos tend to contain bourbon because it turns out we're in America. A lot of the bourbons tend to be very similar. We're talking about a spectrum. Scotches tend to be. Scotches will have a lot larger of a flavor profile. Bourbons tend to be more wood and cherry and vanilla and oak, and oak is wood, and I said wood. But brown sugar, maple, there's just a lot of different little things, but the main things tend to be oak, cherry, vanilla, sugar. That's kind of where their main wheelhouse is, and then you hit small variations in them, and sometimes really weird things like willet.
And there was one that smelled like plum.
Yeah.
Like
Oh no, that was a single malt. That was a single malt we tried.
Oh, that's not.
It's Balcone, which Balcones. Someone tell me how to pronounce that. They're a Texas one, and they do make bourbons and other whiskeys, but that was specifically an American single malt.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it reminded me of like plum or fig Newton. Weirdly, fig Newton. After I tried it, I was like, holy cow. Yeah, that's enough about everything that isn't Knob Creek. Small tangent. Let's give this one a try. very, very rich flavors. Not as dense as the Booker's was. Sweet.
Definitely doesn't build as much as the Booker's.
No.
Towards the end, it's not as strong.
No. I mean, Booker's had a very, very long finish. I'm not gonna lie, it was one of the longer finishes I've had. Yeah. This one falls off much sooner, but certainly holds its own to most other bourbons. It really does actually have not a short finish. Don't get me wrong on that. It's a slightly longer finish, but Booker's was stupid. Stupid good in that sense. I do get a lot of wood, especially in this finish here. The wood is definitely there. There was a bit of pepper. A lot of sweetness, though. In a good way. I've had one or two that were just too sweet for me. They just weirdly were like candied stuff, and I was just like, eh. I've had ones. We actually just had one the other day that was a very maraschino cherry flavor, which it worked really well with it, and I actually really loved it. But this is pretty solid. It's very well rounded, honestly. It's a very rich flavor, very well rounded. Let's see, second smell here. Oh, and I forgot to show if it got some decent oil in there. A little bit clean. Ooh, I'm going a lot more cherry now in the smell. A little bit of vanilla. The wood is definitely still there, though. That oak. I mean, you could. I'm not gonna lie. You can actually tell that this and Booker's are from very similar company, warehouses, and all that other stuff. The rack houses. Their flavor profile is very narrowed towards each other. They just have small variations within one another. Man, both of these are fantastic. Honestly, it just depends on what you were. If you want to get completely and utterly in trouble, Booker's is amazing.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's a slow sipper. I'd prefer that neat. To be honest, I actually prefer all whiskey neat. But you can literally drink whatever you want, whatever way you want. It's all subjective. It's beautiful. About the same. Didn't change much for me. Actually, it's a good thing, because I don't want something to change as I drink it. Like if it goes lesser or this or that, if I want something good, I just want it to be good from beginning to end. Hasn't changed for me. You looking at any water for this, or do you want to just?
Oh yeah, I almost finished mine. Well,
it's okay. I'll pour just a little less than a quarter for you, just to keep at least some consistency in the flavor here. There you go. Quarter of a milliliter, I guess. 0.25 milliliters. There we go. Just see if it opens up anything. Alright. On the scent. I lost the vanilla.
It's a tad lighter.
Yeah, it is. Cherry's coming through a lot more. That hint of cherry that I got on the second go, it's coming through more now. Actually, the lower proof. Wouldn't be surprised if they released something that was basically Knob Creek on a slightly lower proof. Called it something different. Almost kind of like almost an artificial cherry. Not as candied as like a maraschino, but it's like an artificial cherry. I'll give it a try. That wood never went away. It never went away. And actually, I freaking love that. Definitely got a lot less brown sugar, a lot less any sweetness other than the cherry. I lost the vanilla. I lost everything when I was adding the water to it. It was still very good. It was still very sweet, but it felt like all the sweetness came from the cherry, like an artificial sugar and cherry, almost candy, but not. I don't know how to describe it, but it was good. Good. I'd still prefer it at the 100 proof. That was Knob Creek. Delicious. Honestly, if you can't get a Booker's, Knob Creek is fantastic. I really want to know what the 12-year is like. If the 9 years, what we're tasting there, I wonder if the 12-year is closer to Booker's or if it just took a strong right turn far away. Yes, the Wild Turkey Rare Breed. Wild Turkey is incredibly ridiculously popular, especially the 101. That's the one everyone's familiar with. Rare Breed is a specific one. It's a barrel proof, consisting of barrels from 6, 8, and I believe 12 years or 10 years, something like that. Basically, they mix all these different ones to get the best version that they can possibly get. The thing with this, though, is that this is bottled at 116.8 proof. It is a barrel proof. What essentially, this is around their highest that they can get. They tend to add it into the barrel at around 115, 120. I think it's like their max they add into the barrel. So they really can't get those crazy high numbers like Booker's would, or Elijah Craig has had like 130 plus proof before. Things like that are not necessarily possible with Wild Turkey because they tend to have slightly lower barrel entry proofs. Yeah, it's actually clearly from me drinking about half of it. It's good. So this is
You put quite a dent in it.
yeah. It's fantastic. I actually recently saw a single barrel that they had released, and I was debating on getting it. I ended up getting a completely different thing. Something that was in the prior video, Glenfiddich 20, that I had reviewed with Jabril. Still wanting to do a mixed drink video and having a couple people in. See how that goes. Yeah, I guess we'll start with the Wild Turkey Rare Breed. Actually, that's something interesting I didn't realize. Focus. Number 4 char. So they actually put a number 4 char in their barrels? Huh. Usually a lot of places do number 3. So it's a slightly more charred. But Jimmy Russell is the master distiller. You'll see Russells out there, 10-year-old and other stuff. And unfortunately mine, the cork is cracked and I'm waiting for the day when I can't get this thing out. So I'm not even going to try to get this to make a pop because I would lose part of the cork into my whiskey. Not ideal. So let's give this a pour.
Would you ever want to do this with 3 people, or is it just always 2 people you think it would be?
So far it's been 2. It would be interesting to have multiple people in here.
You don't want to have too
I wish I
many
had like a big
cooks.
round table, but it'd be hard to show off the bottle as much.
Yeah.
So that's something for the future. There we go. A little squeak on the way in. It's something better than nothing. Yeah, this is the barrel-proof version of basically Wild Turkey 101. Give it a chance to open up. It's already done that. What am I talking about? Let's smell it. Oh, wow.
That's different. There's so many like little nuances to all this stuff that I find hard to describe with words.
Yeah.
And I feel like you do it better. But I'll chime in when I like something to say. I mean, it's hard for me to describe it with words.
I struggle with it too. I'm trying my best, but I find this to be a lot more cherry sweet. It's a lot more cherry forward.
Yeah, now that you say that, I can smell it.
It's always, you have these senses, the memories that kind of just start. They're on the tip of your tongue, and as soon as somebody says a word, it's like, that's it. That is exactly what I was looking for. I can't believe you mentioned it. I'm glad you did. But That's the thing, and as soon as you mention stuff, you've done that before. You just like came out with a random thing, and I was like, you know what? Yeah, that's definitely it. Holy cow! But it's a lot of, well, not a lot of cherry, but it's a leaning cherry forward. I don't get as much wood on this.
Yeah, there's not as much wood. I noticed that.
Yeah, I would definitely say that this is not in flavor profile even close to what the Booker's was.
No.
I mean, it smells great. It really does. Nothing wrong.
They're all
with
great in their own way.
That's what's beautiful about whiskey. I mean, I have had a couple that I was not a fan of, but majority of them, I tend to buy highly reviewed ones more than not, because I'm afraid to spend money on something that I don't like.
Yeah.
I mean, who isn't? We're all...
Get the whole bottle. And
yeah. It's like, who can I pawn this off to as I come over? who do I don't like?
It's good. You tell them it's good.
Yeah, this is great. This is one of my favorite. Please drink it all. All of it. I don't care. You can crash on my couch. I don't like you that much, but you know what? Just drink it. At least somebody will enjoy it. Oh, man.
And how much proof is this?
As I stuttered through multiple times and edited out, 116.8 proof.
116 points. Not as much as the Booker, but
Yeah.
more than the Knob Creek.
Yep. It's kind of in the middle, kind of.
Yes.
A little bit more towards the book.
All right, I'm taking a swig now.
Go for it. Very little burn. Kind of came in dry. Very little burn, but it left my mouth dry for a brief moment. And then a stupid amount of salivating afterwards. Like a flooding of, ooh, that was great!
Yeah, it tastes about in between the last two that we had.
Yeah.
It's like more burny than the Knob Creek, but less than the Booker.
Yep.
That's very good, though.
Yeah, no, this one's hard to describe in terms of flavors.
We gotta remember to do the water thing with this, too.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't drink all of it yet.
But it's delicious.
Just remember.
I think this one would have cherry, vanilla. The wood is extremely subdued. It's very little, if at all any. It's just, the best way to describe this is balanced. It's extremely balanced.
Yeah.
It's not offensive in any way, shape, or form. It's not, and that's kind of what Wild Turkey is. It's really balanced, really good. It isn't making you make a decision on like, oh my god, this is really heavy wood, this is really heavy this or that. It doesn't lean in any direction too heavily, and it's just solid. It genuinely is very good. And that's honestly the way this one leans too. Barrel proof is just more of the same, slightly richer flavors, and they're just really good. Second taste, very little, if at all any wood, just vanilla, cherry, and they're very light on them. It's not like overly powering or anything like that. And nice brown sugar on the finish, subtly sweet brown sugar.
I am agreeing with everything you're saying.
Well, I'm glad. I'm not crazy.
I'm glad you're describing it first, and then I'm agreeing with it, yes.
Yeah, I mean, that is the thing.
So now we'll try the water thing.
Yeah, give that a little taste-a-roo. 0.25. Drop. And All right.
A little chemistry experiment.
Let's see if lightened it up.
Yeah, as expected, it lightened up. The scent.
More cherry. The cherry became a little more pronounced. Not by much, but it's a little different. Sweet cherries.
This is just something that happens naturally when you put ice. You make an old-fashioned. The
Mm-hmm.
water seeps into it, and it opens up the different flavor profiles.
Well, I mean, when you have it on the rocks is what you mean.
Yeah.
An old-fashioned, so you
well.
have the sugar and the other,
Yeah.
usually Demerara. But yeah, when you have it on the rocks, that's kind of what happens. And the problem is people obviously love it on the rocks, and I'm 100% for having it the way you want it. But for me personally, I don't like the changing of the flavor throughout, because as it sits on the rocks, the ice will slowly melt and dilute the flavor profile.
Right.
And at first it'll open it up and change it, and it'll be great. And then just as you go through, it gets cold, and it starts to make your tongue cold, deadening some of the senses. And for me, that's just not the way I like to drink it. But if that's the way you like it, seriously, this stuff could be hot. So if that's what you need to get through it and you genuinely enjoy it, then heck yeah, go for it. Every single time, no hesitation. Don't let anybody tell you anything different. You enjoy it the way you want it.
But I like the ice spheres because they melt slower.
Yeah. Very little surface area. Or a lot of surface area. Or little?
I'm trying to.
Words. Just good.
Just good.
Just good. I personally would choose the Knob Creek or the Booker's over this. But if anybody ever handed me this, I would happily take it from their hands. I would mooch every second of every day.
You got a lot of options.
Relatively same thing. I'm sure they try to get the same flavor profile. I don't remember if it's a blend. I'm a dummy who's had too high of proofs too many times. This is Batman. No, it's Elijah Craig. Elijah Wood. Elijah Wood endorses Elijah Craig.
Frodo.
So, as I'm sure you've heard on nearly every YouTube channel, if you've watched anything that talked about Elijah Craig, Elijah Craig is supposedly the father of bourbon. He's the one who first charred oak barrels. Apparently, it's literally in where it's embossed 1789. But there's a lot of
That's a long time ago.
that certainly was. There's a lot of dispute on that, saying that he came in a boat around the same time, which is impossible for him to have had a colony, because he apparently had a colony. He was a minister, a bunch of other things, entrepreneur, and amazing whiskey maker apparently. But regardless of whatever they want to say about him, this is a Heaven Hill product. It is phenomenal, and one of my personal favorites is the 94 proof. Sadly, I got into whiskey after they removed their age statement. Now it's a small batch, 94 proof, but they used to be 12, I believe 12. I could be wrong, 10 or 12. Used to be consistently 10, 12 years old, but Elijah Craig became so popular that they had a hard time keeping up with demand. So they ended up having to drop the age statement and blending some of the younger ones with the older ones just to be able to try to meet demand. I don't know if any flavors have changed, and I never had a chance to try any of the others. It'd be nice to try them, but I've never had that opportunity. So this particular one, this particular barrel proof is uncut, straight from the barrel, without chill filtration. 120.2 proof, 60.1 ABV. This is back. Supposedly, oh it is 12 years because this one's advertised as 12 years. supposedly, B520 was supposedly their best release, or one of their best releases. It's one of the highest reviewed releases that they ever had. C921 is supposed to be just a much denser, better flavored version of the original Elijah Craig. So what's concerning about the Elijah Craig barrel proof is that while it's a barrel proof, pretty much the same thing as Booker's, these are pretty much single barrels in a way, or blends, or it's a barrel proof, so it's a blend. So the problem with these is that they have a different batch, so you don't know which batch is the best for you, which flavor profile. You have to hope that there's some reviews that people taste the things and they work out in the direction that you're hoping that it would be. So when you find it, it's like, ooh, it's coveted, I really want to get a hold of one, so you buy it. Unless you're fully paying attention, you don't know if this is going to be the right barrel proof, because there's been some, not necessarily misses, but just some meh out there. This is pretty low for their barrel proof in terms of its actual proof, but people seem to have really liked it. It's not like the most amazing, but they liked it a lot. It's just more of a good thing, which who's going to complain more of a good thing? So this is, I mean, personally, Elijah Craig was, again, one of my favorites. And if I'm getting more of a good thing and it's one of my favorites, then how can I certainly complain about that? Yeah, give this one a try. You've had Elijah Craig before, right?
Yes, a long time ago.
I think the first time I made you try the 12 whiskeys I had, and some of them were from my bachelor type party thingy, that post-marriage. Weird story. But hey, COVID. Let's see this one.
That was a good one.
Not as much of a pop, but definitely that squeak. Small pop at the end. It was nice, but not amazing. Ooh, this is dark. Some density to it.
Almost as dark as the Booker.
Yeah.
Well,
actually,
it's heavy.
I think
I'm expecting.
We'll see how it goes.
60.
I've had it one time and let it open up a tiny bit, so we'll see how this goes. Swirly swirl? Swirly swirly swirl? Yeah, you know?
Twirly swirly.
Yeah, twirly swirly. I like that. Twirly swirly.
Twirly swirly gumdrops.
Hopefully we don't taste gumdrops, because I don't want to taste gumdrops in this.
I was referencing Elf, the movie Elf with Will Ferrell. Yeah.
I'm an uncultured swine. I have seen it in bits, but not entirely.
Oh, really?
In its
Wow.
entirety. Yeah.
That's like
I know!
one of the best Christmas movies.
Oh, man. There's wood.
That's woody. That is woody.
Wood. Vanilla. Very tiny bit of cherry on the back end. Oh my god, that wood.
Yes.
It's the best way. Oh my god. Making me salivate. Brown sugar. Nothing out of the ordinary for bourbon. But the directions it's leading is definitely a spiced wood. Very similar to the Booker's. And I'm not kidding. This is incredibly similar to the Booker's. But I think it's a little less sweet, but less spicy also. So almost like it balanced the sweetness with the spice to bring them to roughly the same level. I mean, it is sweet. It definitely has that sweetness behind it. Wow. I'm not kidding. I think this might be the most enticing smell for me. Booker's is a very close second. Yeah.
Yeah, it's up there with the more memorable of the four.
Yeah.
As far as scents go.
This is fantastic, though. I don't know if it's the alcohol talking or if it's just the
Yeah,
fact
because I
that
am
I'm
getting a little bit buzzed.
I mean, really?
As we go along, we're getting more and more buzzed. Yes.
as to be expected. I probably should cut these back to like 2 or 3 bottles at most. But
Yeah.
I mean, what's the fun in that? You can listen to us get stupid and enjoy stupid things. It's great though. Wow.
What is it called? Olfactory?
Olfactory. Your olfactory senses.
It's
Your
some
smell.
Part of the brain.
Yeah.
That's
The ability to smell and all that.
And it's like linked to your memories and stuff, right?
Yeah. Your memories, the part of your brain that harbors majority of your memories, and the part of the brain that harbors your sense of smell are like right next to each other.
Oh.
And because of that, when you have memories, smell tends to be one of the first things that are able to trigger memories.
Yeah.
Just because the cells, whatever synapses. I unfortunately I'm not a neuroscientist, but the part of the brain that's closest to that is the part that can help trigger memories the best. And that tends to be one thing. If you ever watch other YouTubers, they will taste things, and they'll sometimes recall memories specifically versus just like what they smell. Oh, I remember this one time that, and I think I've done it myself. Probably not, but oh my god, I went back. I'm getting more vanilla now.
Yeah, it changes every time. A little bit. Just a little bit.
Huh. Okay, I'm probably crazy. I'm smelling it differently, and I'm getting a different smell. It's like really sweet and vanilla right here. I don't know why. Maybe I'm crazy. Huh. More wood here. All right. Wonder if certain denser, lighter. Anyway, it's time to taste this.
Very close to the Booker in the way that it builds towards the end. Kind of hard to talk.
A lot of high proofs.
Alright, I'm good now.
Wow. Vanilla, oak, pepper. Yeah, no, it's really good. I don't know if I prefer the Booker's
like
more.
it.
I like it a lot too. I'm
Like
not
all of
surprised.
In a different way.
Yeah, no,
It's
honestly.
like picking between children. It's hard to pick your favorite.
My least favorite is probably one of the most balanced ones, but saying least favorite doesn't mean that it's not really, really, really good.
Yeah.
The Wild Turkey Rare Breed was extremely good. Just one I'd choose last out of this.
The one you choose last is Wild Turkey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then it would probably
So that's
be
least
Knob
memorable.
Creek, then Elijah Craig, and then the Booker's. Booker's is probably my favorite. It's a really close call between this and the Booker's, though. I hate to say it about Elijah Craig, but I'm trying to be completely impartial. I'm trying to shut off the part of my brain's like, I have memories! I have history! Yeah, no, let's not. Personally, I'd probably just choose this if I saw the two on the shelf. Partially because this MSRP is actually cheaper. I paid, I think, actually about the same as the Booker's for this. Just because I'd never actually seen one in the wild. When I did, it's like, you know what? Let's overpay. I think these can be as low as like 60, I think.
60.
Correct me if I'm wrong, yeah. It's really good, though.
It seems like you'd be able to find this at like Kroger or like a Meijer store, but not the Booker's. You'll never find a Booker's at that place.
I mean, yeah, special release 4 times a year, but I the Meijer's by my house. Just I don't think there's a lot of bourbon drinkers or whiskey drinkers or anything like that because they seem to miss out on a lot of stellar things that are there, and I don't understand why Meijer's has it, but the one by my house does. Going back for a second, smelling cherry, vanilla.
We have to do the water thing too, so don't
Delicious.
drink
What?
we have to do the water thing, so don't drink
I
all of
want it. It's delicious.
I want it.
That pepper wood is fantastic on that. That is the thing that stands out the most. And I mean, that's very similar to what the regular Elijah Craig is. It's a lot of peppered wood. I bet you we're just going to get basically Elijah Craig with this. So I don't know if this particular experiment is warranted. But
we're going to do it because
we're going to do it.
We did it with good.
Yep. I mean, we're taking the 120 proof probably down to like 114. Something like that. It's really not. It's in the in-between. But ooh, wow. No, wait. Oh, whoa. Holy sweet vanilla. Almost like cake icing.
Yeah,
Vanilla. Almost vanilla cake icing. I lost a lot of the wood. Whoa. Hold up. Are you getting that too, or am I just crazy?
No, I get it now that you say it, yeah.
I lost a lot of the wood. The wood pepper is still in the back. Like, you smell it and you get sweet vanilla icing, and then just a hint of wood spice just creeps up and tickles your nose. But oh wow, okay. I wouldn't be surprised if the taste didn't change at all. What's coming up? Yeah. All right. Time for. Yep. Ethanol vapors lived in my mouth for a brief moment and decided to hurt me. What was that? No idea how that happened. Like literally, it was like a cloud of strong ethanol vapors, and then when I swallowed, it went right up my nose.
It's pretty much what you would expect with the proof that the Booker was the strongest that it built.
For burn, yeah.
And Elijah Craig is just a little hair under that.
Yeah.
And then the other two.
The taste with the water, it did open up a little bit. I did get a little bit of that vanilla icing, but the wood pepper, holy crap, was it still there? It was super strong. It was still there. Yeah. So, out of these, what is your personal favorite?
Oh man, I gotta pick now.
You have to pick one of your children. Sorry.
Oh,
one dies, and one lives. So 3 die.
You know what? I'm a person who prefers less of the burniness, so I'm gonna go with Knob Creek. If I wanted to make a old fashioned out of it, or if I wanted to drink it straight, either one, I'm gonna go Knob Creek, and that's my final decision.
Well, I'm glad you had a decision because I'm struggling with it myself. I still think I lean towards the Bookers just a slight bit. I'm a personal I personally prefer neat and something I can sip on, nice and slow, not like this where we drink way too much very quickly in like an hour's time.
You prefer a kick in the
hour.
teeth.
Ours is roughly an hour. Holy fudge buckets.
Edit.
Yeah, we'll see what goes. Regardless of editing or not, the current video time is an hour and 6 minutes and 32, 33, 34. You didn't need to know that. Regardless, yeah, I think I choose the Bookers.
They're all great.
Yeah, honestly.
It's not easy to
go back to the Bookers because that's the winner in my opinion, and my opinion's the only thing that matters. Obviously not. All opinions matter, but my channel.
And it's empty.
Yeah, delicious. So basically, what I'm gonna have to say is, hey Nick, where can they find you on social media?
I'm going to instead plug a song, a tune.
Oh,
Because because I'm a music guy, and I think we're gonna watch it a little bit later tonight with the people. It's a song by Clark called Her Bar, and you spell it with 2 R's. I don't know if it's on the her or the bar, but you'll figure it out.
You know what?
Look up the music video for it and be like enthralled by the visuals and the music and be like, wow, what is life?
I'll put it in the description. I'm asking, what are you at this moment? But it'll be in the description. I'm sorry for everyone who watches it. Just
definitely
go on
a
the
what the f- kind of a thing. I said okay. Well.
Cool. I have to bleep you and then bleep you again for correcting yourself. Oh no, I said this word. Thanks, Nick. You guys take care. You guys have a good one. Drink up, stay safe, and enjoy.